here's the other thing that has to come out. This makes James Comey look so bad. I mean, Comey has been repeatedly busted by Michael Horowitz. He has been repeatedly called out. And every single time he has said he is vindicated, here is Comey on TV. This report just shows his people to be absolutely out of control and incompetent. At the very least, they're incompetent. They may be corrupt. That'll be up to Durham to find. But at the very least, this was incompetent, reckless, dishonest, out of control. Here's Comey's reaction.
On the big smear levied by Donald Trump about some sort of conspiracy or political bias, there was nothing.
It was all made up. 2 years of sitting silently at the FBI while you're lied about. And finally, the truth is out. It was lies. There was no treason. There was no conspiracy. There was no tapping of Trump's wires. There was no putting informants in the campaign. It was all nonsense. And the FBI finally has its day with the American people, and I hope they pay attention to it. Good people believe something that a president of the United States says, or an attorney general, or a news personality says. And so they've bought that, and it's going to be hard to walk that back. My goal is to have as many of the American people as possible learn from this and learn that the FBI is the way you'd want it to be. It's not on anybody's side.
You know what? I still think that guy's an idiot.
You know, the great McGurn, Bill McGurn in the Wall Street Journal just takes Comey to pieces today, just reduces him to the flaming pile of dishonesty he is. And he says when an earlier Inspector General report called him insubordinate for having, quote, intentionally concealed from his Justice Department bosses his plans for a press conference exonerating Hillary Clinton of criminal wrongdoing over her use of a private email server to send classified material, Mr. Comey's answer was to write an op-ed in the New York Times under the headline, "This report says I was wrong, but that's good for the FBI." Then in August 2019, Mr. Horowitz's office released still another report, this one dealing with Mr. Comey's leaking of memos detailing confidential conversations he had with President Trump, in addition to highlighting Mr. Comey's dishonesty toward the FBI agents dispatched to his home to retrieve the memos. The Inspector General scored Mr. Comey for setting a dangerous example, quote unquote, for the Bureau. Later, Mr. Horowitz testified that he'd recommended Mr. Comey be prosecuted, right? How did Comey respond? By ignoring the larger indictment of his FBI leadership and focusing only on Mr. Horowitz's finding that they'd unearthed no evidence Mr. Comey had leaked classified information. Comey said, "I don't need a public apology from those who defamed me, but a quick message with a sorry we lied about you would be nice."
Come on, man.
and Comey, Comey, he really is. He may be the worst. I mean, they have a lot of stuff about J. Edgar Hoover and his abuses, but Comey may be the worst head of the FBI that ever was head of the FBI. He really may be the worst. And the fact that they're still hauling him out on MSNBC and saying, "What a good job you did spying on Donald Trump," is embarrassing even for MSNBC. Before you go, one last thing. Hit the subscribe button so that you stay up to date on all our content.